The Brendan Sorsby situation. Okay, what do we know about this? We know that Brendan Sorsby is under NCAA investigation for gambling, thousands of online bets, even placing bets on his own team, Indiana, when he was there. We know that he has since been admitted into a gambling facility. Now, we're not going to talk about this off the field. On the field, how does this make a difference? This is a huge story for the realm of college football. Reason why is because based on NCAA rules, if you gamble more than $800 on pro sports, you lose 30% of your eligibility. If you gamble on college sports at all, you're in serious jeopardy of losing your entire eligibility. And people question, do they have the power here? This is one of the few spots that the NCAA has legitimate power here. So the reason why this is so significant is because last year, you have the Tier 1, which is Indiana. I'd put Ohio State up there, maybe Miami up there, especially towards the end. And then you had the Tier 2, which is Georgia, Ole Miss, Oregon. And then maybe you could put Texas Tech in that Tier 2. But based on what we saw against Oregon, probably in that Tier 3 right below. But Texas Tech made the CFP last year because they gave up the second least points per game in college football. This defense was surrounded with NFL guys everywhere, as we saw in the draft, right? 9 players drafted. But that Oregon game was extremely telling for them. A very humbling moment of like, you thought you were there, but you're not. So Texas Tech last year played bunch of Big 12 teams that didn't necessarily have a lot of NFL talent. There's not a lot of NFL talent in Big 12 secondaries. Texas Tech burned teams with explosives. They were first in the nation in explosive plays last year. Great at beating you over the top. But the moment that they played against a secondary riddled with NFL talent that didn't let you get over the top, they got pretty exposed, realizing that they were fairly one-dimensional on the offensive side of the ball. We saw they struggled in the red zone vastly. Third and short situations, 3rd and 4 to 7s, really struggled. B-Ren Morton was also playing on a broken leg last year. We know that he got sacked on 24% of his pressures. So Texas Tech realizes all of this and thinks, all right, we got to get really aggressive here. What do? They go after Brendan Sorsby. Brendan Sorsby, 26 TDs, 5 picks, a 1.8 adjusted interception percentage, which is interceptions minus wide receiver tipped interceptions to defensive backs plus dropped interceptions. I love that stat. 5th lowest in Division I, so he doesn't turn the ball over. Sacked on just 6% of his pressures, 2nd lowest in the FBS. Also, 9 rushing TDs, 6 yards per carry, 107 passer rating. This is a guy who is ranked in the top 10 in 2027 mock drafts. At the lowest I've seen him is mid-second round. So this is a game changer at quarterback. Brendan Sorsby was supposed to be the guy who was going to bring Texas Tech from very good to great. Because, guys, this defense is yet again going to be unbelievable. This is why this is such a significant story. Is because with Brendan Sorsby, Texas Tech is right up there as the preseason number 1. And without, they're definitely not. Because you look at this defense. Okay, they've got their 2 edge rushers were both top 20 in the FBS in pressures last year. They got a defensive tackle that's supposed to go first round. You've got a middle linebacker returning who converted 92% of his tackles, allowed 0 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. Your entire secondary is back, and that secondary gave up, the 5th least yards per attempt in the nation last year through the air. Your corners both allowed an under 50% catch rate. Okay? Your safety allowed just 5 yards per pass attempt against him. 4 out of 5 starters are back there. This defense could be the very best in the whole sport. Could be. With Ohio State losing all those pieces, they're probably the favorite to be. So how do I look at Texas Tech with and without Brendan Sorsby? With Brendan Sorsby, they're the favorite to win the Big 12. Without Brendan Sorsby, I still believe they're the favorite to win the Big 12. But it's not the floor that decreases with Texas Tech. It's the ceiling. The ceiling significantly decreases if Brendan Sorsby's not playing. Like Will Hammond would be the guy, probably. And we saw glimpses against Utah where he looked very good. We also saw Arizona State and Kansas, and you're thinking, oh my gosh, Behren Morton, can you please come back? So they're good enough to win the Big 12 because of that defense. And Will Hammond could improve from year 1 to year 2. He was a freshman last year. He was recruited by a lot of very solid schools. So if Sorsby plays, I see Texas Tech as a perennial national championship contender. And if Will Hammond starts, I see Texas Tech as a conference champion, a college football playoff team. But once they need that substance offensively, that guy to move the chains on 3rd and 6, and they play in Oregon again in the CFP, they probably won't stand a chance.